Don't shoot! Don't shoot me! Oh, God. Daryl, can you hear me?
We weren't gonna shoot you. We come in peace. We come in peace.
Stay with me, Daryl. You're gonna pull through this, buddy. Stay with me! He's gone.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And congratulations on Betty Draper finally exacting her revenge.
Yeah, felt kind of good.
Did you have anything to do with that specific plot point?
I didn't. Will Forte came to me with the idea, or the first episode, and said that Melissa is gonna kill someone immediately. And the idea of it kind of made me cringe, because I think initially it was gonna be a woman. Anyway, shooting anyone always is, I mean, even if there's some comedic aspect to it, is, I don't know, it just kind of weirded me out a little bit. And then we were doing Comic-Con in San Diego before we started shooting, and he was sitting next to me on the bus, and he goes, "It's John Hamm." I was like, oh, I'm fine with, I can so be on board with that. It's so funny just because of I guess for the Mad Men fans, there's a little bit of redemption there.
It's closure, I believe, is the
Well, I
psychological
think that
term.
Don and Betty had a beautiful sort of closure already. I mean, the ending for them was very sweet. So I just think for maybe the earlier season, the comedy aspect of it was pretty genius.
Well, for those of you not watching the show, you need to watch it because it's one of the funniest and most unconventional comedies on right now. It's about the end of the world, not the end of the world, like the end of the human race to a certain extent, and
Yeah.
what happens when there's just a handful of survivors left, and you're
Right.
one of these handful with the very unfortunate name of, I'm sorry, Melissa Chartres.
Yeah, but it's spelled the French way.
Yes, but pronounced Chartres.
Right.
And you started the show right after Mad Men wrapped, so
Yeah.
was this more like a palate cleanser for you?
Well, it wasn't my intention to go directly into another TV show. I mean, I just finished one of the best TV shows ever, and I just didn't know if there would be another, like, organic way to go into TV where it wouldn't be compared, or I wouldn't be compared to that character. I mean, I might be always, related to, or just thought of as Betty Draper, and I'm fine with that because it was an amazing character. So I was wary of going into another show right away, but when this script came to me and Will called me and told me a little bit about it, it was too good to pass up. I mean, it was a people I admired that are making the show, are writers I knew from SNL, and I was also really excited at the idea of going to work and laughing all day.
Because you got your start in comedy, so it's really nice to see that other side of you.
Yeah. I also think, for the fans or the potential bosses in my life, it was a good reminder that I am not just Betty Draper, I guess. So, and it's just been an amazing journey. Everyone involved is so fun, and it's just been good for my soul to go and
Laugh at work.
be a goon. Yeah, it's been fun.
So this is season 3.
Right.
Which, by the way, congratulations on that.
Thanks,
I'm
I
so
know.
happy that there's
I've
so
been
much
super
support behind the
fortunate.
show.
Yeah. TV's been good to me.
Well, it's a good show. How has Melissa Chartres, let's pronounce it the French way,
Okay.
evolved from season 1 to what we see of her now as a gun-toting vigilante?
Well, I think when you're first introduced to her, she's sort of playing the person who, like, as if an audience member were in the show. She's the one that's seeing these two kind of crazy, goofball, ridiculous people, and she's saying the things that one of us would say to, just because there's some ridiculous aspects to the things they do and say. And then she evolved. I mean, the show spans, by the way, a very short period of time. So you don't see a lot of evolution for the characters unless something drastic happens. But for her, in the first and second season, she develops relationships with Todd, and now she's in a threesome relationship with Todd and Gail. And then now you're going to see, without spoiling anything, you're going to see a very different shift for her in that she's just murdered a person and seemingly without any emotion, but you do see her have a severe reaction to that.
What do you enjoy the most about playing her?
Well, I just like being in the scenes with these people. I mean, I am so unprofessional. When I laugh through a lot of it and break character a lot, so they don't like me very much. But I like, especially this season, I like to be challenged. For someone to give me material that scares me and pushes me outside of my comfort zone. And this season especially, the writers have really done that in a way that's been really fun for me comedically and just as an actor to do something I haven't done before.
What do you think the craziest thing Melissa has done so far?
It happens in the scene we just shot, so I can't tell you, but God, I wish I could tell you. You'll see. It's coming soon, but I think thus far that she's been okay with having, what do you call it when you're in a relationship with three people? A throuple? Yeah, that she's in a throuple and that she's now murdered a guy.
Well, I guess like the things that we do when, there's nothing left to lose.
Well, for this show, I mean, there's a lot of things that happen and that we do. There are no more. There's no consequences anymore. There's no law, and so it's mostly just about how we affect each other emotionally, and that that there's these people, and they're a very ragtag bunch of people, but they all love each other and they have a great sort of community, and now having these people come in, Pat character and Daryl, R.I.P., and this new guy, Lewis. So you see how that's going to affect their sort of order that they've arranged. There's going to be a lot of disorder, and there's an epic road trip coming up.
Really? Can you say where?
No, I probably shouldn't have even just said that, but
We're going to retract that statement.
I'll leave it.
Now, I've had the good fortune, I think, of knowing you for a number
while.
of years, yeah. And I can say for the record that you're absolutely nothing like Betty Draper at all, period. What of you is in Melissa?
There's a lot of me in her. I mean, I think that's, not so much in the third season, I hope, but yeah, I'm quite sarcastic and dry, and there's a realness to her, and there's sort of, she's not a high maintenance girl, and she's, I think more than any other character I've ever played, she's a lot like me.
Like, she's casual, she goes with, like, she can wear jeans and just roll around and get dirty.
Uh-huh. And Will Forte annoys her.
As one does.
Yeah.
Duh.
That guy. No.
And I also want to ask you, I loved you in Good Kill, which was about drone warfare, and it's one of the very few projects that I've ever seen that handled that issue. That was, what, a year ago, I believe? 2 years ago?
Year ago, I think it came.
What governs your script choices now?
Well, it's what it's always been, which is a challenge, something that I haven't done before, material that moves me. That's, I have a quote-unquote day job and a family, and I don't want to do something unless it really speaks to me and it's a character that makes me think, or some sort of material. I didn't know anything about any of the drone stuff, so only what is glossed over in the news, I guess. So it was a story that I felt like needed to be told, and I was excited to be a part of that. And I always wanted to work with Ethan Hawke.
And
had a crush on him a really long time.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
He lived up to it, apparently.
Huh?
You said he lived up to it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
What is, to go back to Mad Men for one question, when you look back on the show, what is the memory that stands out the most for you? Whether it was an episode that Betty was in, or a moment on set, or just a moment with one of your co-stars.
I think it's all three of those, and it was the last phone call scene that John and I did together. Just because it was everyone, the whole cast and crew were all on set together, and that last day, and so it was very emotional. Everyone's already very emotional, and it was a farewell to Betty as a character, which was almost the hardest thing for me to do, just knowing that I was never going to speak for her again. And also a farewell to, in a very sweet way, to the Don and Betty relationship. And we were all crying, you know, it was just a very emotional time, and none of us wanted to leave work that day.
Did you take anything home with you from her?
Just my tears. No, we weren't allowed, everyone asked that. We weren't allowed to take anything unless we stole it. And I don't think I did. I have a couple of her outfits, just some random day wear stuff, but a lot of it's in the museum here and then at the Smithsonian. If I could break into there, I would.
Can you imagine that you're on a show that was so important that it's in a Smithsonian? Like, that's incredible to me.
I know, it's crazy.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's surreal. I mean, to be a part of something, none of us ever thought anything like that would happen, so it's very cool, and it's very special. It's something that won't ever be replicated. I don't know that I'll ever play a character that long either, so I was very attached to her, very defensive of her at times. But I loved the challenges that they gave me throughout that show, and also that I think for me, maybe I'm biased, but I feel like for Betty, she had the most full circle. She came full circle the most from beginning to end.
She absolutely did, and I think that she redeemed herself as a parent to a large extent at the end.
Because she died?
Well, no, because of how she talked to Sally.
I
you know what I mean.
Kidding. Yes, of course. The letter, yeah.
So I also want to ask you about Oceana. I think the work that you do is so important. My son just watched a certain unnamed film about sharks, and he thinks that every shark should be speared and killed because they're a menace to humans. And you have been championing this cause since I've known you, and in fact, that's how we first met. So talk to me about it and how you got involved and why it's important to you.
Well, I've been fascinated by sharks since I was a little girl, and when I got to a point in my career where I felt like I could, give something, that was the cause that really spoke to me, just because selfishly it would be something that I got to do that was fun and that I already knew a lot about. So Oceana and I, we paired up, and they didn't have a shark spokesperson per se, so I was super excited to work with them and have gotten to do so many wonderful things for our oceans, for sharks, and I've gotten to have a lot of fun doing it. I've gotten to swim with sharks and go to DC and help get bills pushed through for finning, and it's just without our oceans, our world doesn't exist. So it just feels like something amazing to do for my son and for our children, and my son has seen that movie as well. And when he was really young, when someone asked, "What's a shark say?" he'd say, "Dunno." So it is what it is, but he also knows what a movie is and that it wasn't real. And he's super excited to join me when he gets to the appropriate age to join me swimming with sharks and help do that.
What is it like swimming with sharks?
Well, it depends on the shark, but
But it's not like you get to meet them ahead of time, like,
they'll
hey,
have different
Sally.
personalities. Some are nice. There's dangerous types of sharks that you want to be. You used to be super respectful no matter what, but I've swam with whale sharks that are, the biggest, but they're not dangerous. So that was just magical. It was like swimming with a dinosaur. And then reef sharks, lemon sharks, nurse sharks, things like that. You're careful, but they don't really care about you. And I just got invited to do a trip in Guadalupe, the Guadalupe Island, to swim with great white sharks, but I don't get to do it because of work. But I would, when you're in a right environment with scientists and people that are experts and you feel you're in a safe environment and you're not hurting the animal, I just think that it's such a cool thing to do and see them in their element.
I think that's amazing. And
It's fun.
And it sounds like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, like I said, selfishly, it's just a really cool thing to get to do and not have to have gone to college for it. I work with marine biologists all the time, and they've never even been in the water with them, so I'm very lucky that I get to do that.
And before we turn over to the audience, I wanted to ask you, what's the best career advice you got when you were starting out, and did you follow it?
Well, I have a personality trait that may or may not be good, which is when someone says no, I do it anyway. So that's worked for me and against me at times. But I think the best thing I got when I was already an actress was from Jack Nicholson, and we were doing a movie, and I was never able to watch myself. So during a cut, they would all go watch the monitor and see what they had done, and I couldn't do it. And he just told me to force myself to do that so that because I am my own worst critic, which he saw in me, and I could instead of just looking at it like, ooh, there's me, I would be able to tweak and do things to change it, and I think that has been super helpful to me.
So you're able to view yourself impartially, almost, like remove yourself.
Yeah,
from seeing
I mean, depending on the role. Mad Men, I had no problem watching myself just because I didn't really see much of myself in there because I changed so many things. I changed my body language, my everything. So it was, my own mother said she didn't even see me in that. So that was,
Oh my God, that's amazing.
yeah.
And I guess
Best compliment ever.
right? And when Jack Nicholson gives you advice, you listen.
I do, yeah, you do.
And now to our audience, please.
Hi, January.
Hi.
Question. As you know, everyone knows, you played in X-Men First Class.
Yes.
Do you honestly believe that your character as Emma Frost is really dead? Because in Days of Future Past, they have items of every member that had fallen, and there was no item in regards to Emma Frost. And in the Marvel Universe, basically no one dies. They just get reincarnated 5 seconds later. Do you really believe that in the cinematic universe that she's dead? Or do you really believe that they're gonna bring probably you back as Emma in probably a future movie or probably Deadpool or so?
Well, if they do, I need a heads up because I need to exercise a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I know that I don't know anything currently that's happening with that. I would definitely be game. I think I also don't know enough about the comics to know what happened to her. They try to stick pretty closely to those, and I'm just not sure what happened to her in those. But they could always switch and go back to the past again. So yeah, I don't know. That'd be fun. But again, heads up, a little bit.
That would be super fun to see you in that. Next question, please.
Hey, January. You have a really cool name, by the way.
Thank you.
If the world did end, who are the few people that you would want with you?
Few as in 3?
Like 3, yeah.
My son. Oh man, I gotta cut some family out.
Pick the handiest ones.
My son and my sisters. My son and my sisters. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
She loves you anyway, though. And last question, please.
Okay, mine's is kind of in a lieu of that, but if you had to pick the last celebrity man on Earth, who would it be, and what would be the plot of the first episode?
Celebrity man.
Yes.
And what would be the plot line? I think it would have to be John Hamm, and he's still dead. But it's like Weekend at Bernie's. That would be funny. And I'm like moving his body however I want it to go.
And when can we see the show?
Sunday nights on Fox.
Thank you so much, January.
Thank you.